What's up guys, Steve here. Welcome back to my channel, my page, my YouTube, and thanks for watching. Let's get right into this. This is going to be April's breakdown of how I did with 3 cars, and if you stick around to the end, you'll see kind of a bonus of what's going on as far as my fleet and what I'm planning to do with it. All right, now as we get into this, make sure you guys are subscribing, sharing, hit that notification bell, all that stuff, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But let's get right into this. So we'll get down into, I'll do my screen recording, and here we go. So right off the bat, it shows my vehicles right here. Don't mind this Ford Fiesta because that is nothing. Once again, it's one of those things where I was just testing it out, seeing, making sure that it would actually work for the platform. As you guys know, you should be doing this before you buy a car, period. So let's get right into earnings. Let's jump over here. Boom, this is all my earnings for the year so far. Obviously February, you guys know I started the last 2 weeks of that, so that's what that earnings was for the Civic. Now April 2619, this was for the 3 cars. There's a little bit of a reimbursement up here, but we can get into a breakdown of each car, what we got going on. We'll start off here with the Ford Focus right up top. Ford Focus did $773, so this was pretty nice. It did very well. There was a few days that it was off, and there was also a rental that went into May. So that's why you see some of the payout here from May already, and we're already at Cinco de Drinko. It's May 5th, so we are already in here, so that's why this is already paid out. But that shows you that car did $733. I think it was just under, if everything would have been paid out, it would have been just under right at $900 for the month. So that gives you an idea. But this also shows that I got some future bookings coming up in May, which is a good thing. And then this one that's already been paid out. So that gives you an idea of how we are standing with this one. So far in 2021, $961 has been paid out for the Focus, with another $331 coming in still to come. So jumping right into the Honda Civic, this is the one that I started with. Obviously there's February, March. Now April, funny because April we're sitting at $931 for payout. It's down from March, but I will tell you that March rental that rolled into April, which should have affected this and made this a little bit higher, but unfortunately it didn't. The Civic was actually down. It was kind of booked in a previous video. You'll see like the center of my month, it was just kind of shoddy. Wasn't out every day that I had hoped for, but still pulled a pretty good profit, sitting at $931. I do have a couple future bookings. This one was very weird. I'm surprised that they booked it out so early, but I do have some coming out for May, and it's actually currently out right now with looks like a little mileage reimbursement, but that's for May. So there you go. That gives you an idea. $931 for the Civic. We can go right in here over to the Forte. Boom. It's doing pretty well. Look at that. So far, total, it has a little over $1,000. That's with May having some bookings. You got one future one coming up here, and one that's already done. It rolled into, once again, just like the Focus, we had money that was coming in and a trip that ended the first week of May. And so that's why these payouts, the booking started in April, but the booking ended in May, so that's why the payout ends up in May. But still not too bad. First month in, $915. That thing booked out for the month. It was awesome. A little reimbursement that was for fuel. That was a fuel trip. So yeah, can't really complain. So far $1,000 for the Kia Forte. I mean, first payment on that car hasn't even really hit yet. So there you go, $1,079. That gives you that. Now we'll go into earnings. So the Mazda 6, I brought this thing in at the end of the month. I brought it in last week of the month and it booked, which is great. So let's see what this thing's looking like. It's gonna not show any payment for April because it booked at the end of the month and they keep extending the trip. Awesome, right? I think what happened is their other vehicle went out into the shop for a transmission repair, and then that brought us back into a trip that just keeps getting extended. So far it's $136, and then boom, another $271, and this is just for one trip. So we're already in the positive on this car, and I got the rest of the month to go. I still got 20 days to go for getting this car rented out. So that gives you an idea. That's kind of a little added bonus, But let's get into the little bonuses like I was saying. So let's go up to earnings. Okay, so this shows for the year, right? And it shows that I do have a booking out in June, which is cool. It's nice to know that you have future bookings coming in. This one actually was booked in April. She booked it out a couple months in advance, which it just happened to be a renter that just wanted something close to what she drives at home on the regular. So she wanted to make sure she could lock that in. I would say for you guys, be careful. If you're already seeing bookings that are out in July, August, September, really be careful with this, because that means you guys are leaving money on the table. I will say that for my vehicles, let's just go over here to the Focus. For my vehicles, look at that. I'm booked out. This one's on a current trip till the 15th. Now, that's still 10 days away. The end of that trip is still 10 days away, and honestly, the rest of this doesn't really book up until the 13th, 14th. It starts making me nervous, but I know it's gonna book. And I know I'm not leaving money on the table. Now, if I get towards the 15th, like the morning of the 15th, I'm gonna kind of look at my pricing and see if I need to drop that pricing or what I need to do to basically make sure that car goes out. I don't want it down for any extended period of time, so I definitely play with the numbers and I follow it constantly. But like I said, you don't want a whole lot of bookings way out here in July, August, September. It's just showing, and especially if you're showing like huge bookings and your month's almost already booked up, that's all bad. You're just leaving way too much money on the table. So a couple weeks out is good to see. I know with the other fleets, we would see stuff a couple months out just for, you know, it was a big touristy area. So you would kind of see a little bit of people pre-planning. But we would never see the full month booked out. So definitely be careful with that. Watch what you're doing, making sure that you're optimizing as much income as you can off of these cars. You don't want to be leaving on anything on the table. As far as the other thing goes, that, like I said, bonus nugget, I have this Ford Fiesta. This is one that I was looking at. This thing probably will be added to the fleet, but I also have another Hyundai Accent that's coming in, and it's actually bought and paid for. I just got to go pick it up. And that's going to be one of my shooters. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, I know, pretty lame. But the shooters are perfect. Those are the cars that you're going to want, and they have to basically, you have to block them out so you can get the maintenance done on these cars, because hopefully that thing is just constantly on the road and you never see that car. This will also cover any kind of payments, whether you got big boy payments on other cars or small payments on some of these smaller other cars. But either way, it's good to have that little bit of variety and the diversity in there, so that way you have some cash flow that's constant and you know is always coming in. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what these cars can do. Obviously, the more expensive cars you get, the higher the daily rate, the more you're making. I know that there's tons of hosts out there that'll laugh and say, oh, $2,600 for 3 cars is nothing. Like, I'm pulling in, you know, $4,500. Well, yeah, that's cool. That's great. What's your overhead? What are your payments on those cars? And what are you actually netting on those? Because I have seen profiles where they're making 600 plus a year on sales, but they're also spending 600 plus a year on payments and overheads. So you got to be careful with what people tell you, what kind of lines they're giving you, and what they're actually, you know, what's legit. So there you go. This is basically what I'm showing you. $2,600 for the month. Not too bad for 3 cars. I know some cars, some hosts do way more. It all depends on the class of cars you guys have. But this gives you an idea of commuter cars, what you can expect. And I'll be honest, it's slow out here in Phoenix. It's a lot slower than the winter time. Winter time is when people are actually coming out here to visit. So we'll take that into consideration. I'm actually really excited to see how fall and winter look like out here. But for right now, we're still cash flow positive, so I'm not gonna complain. And I know some of those other states out there are just crushing it right now. I hope you guys are too. Hope this was some kind of value to you guys. Like, subscribe, share this, make sure you guys do whatever. Drop it in the comments. Let me know how you guys are doing. Are you guys just crushing it out there? Are you smoking me? Are you making double, triple what I am with the same amount of cars? I'm curious. Let me know. I'm really, really curious. Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.